Are you inadvertently turning princes into frogs? What if what women think men need is the last thing they actually want? Could single-minded focus be the secret weapon that both connects and divides us? I've spent years exploring the intricate dance between men and women, and I've come to some pretty fascinating conclusions. It's a journey that started with a desire to understand, not to judge, and it led me to a place of deep respect and, yes, even love for the masculine heart. My exploration began unexpectedly. Instead of looking for what was wrong with men, I began to examine how I might be contributing to any less than ideal behaviors. This simple shift sparked a profound journey of discovery. It was like unlocking a secret code, revealing truths about men that most women simply don't realize. What if men aren't the commitment phobes they're often portrayed to be? What if their brains are actually wired for commitment in a way that's fundamentally different from a woman's? See, much of the friction between the sexes comes from misunderstanding these core differences. For example, women often misinterpret a man's need for focused attention, or they might not recognize the silent work happening as he contemplates a question. In order to dive deeper into this disparity, it's important to recognize that men, when truly committed, possess an incredible ability to focus. This focus allows them to shut out distractions and dedicate themselves to the task at hand, and is partly how they manage to be providers and protectors. Imagine this: a woman asks a man a question. He doesn't immediately respond. She may interpret this as disinterest or a lack of engagement. But what's really happening? He's likely diving deep into his internal world, carefully considering the question, and crafting an answer that's authentic and true for him. It's a process that requires time and space, qualities that are often in short supply in our fast-paced world. For a man, congruence is key. If a woman says she's tired, but then proceeds to tackle a mountain of chores, it creates a disconnect. The message is confusing, and it can erode trust over time. Men tend to be very literal and need to see that a woman's words and deeds align. This isn't about fault or blame. It's about understanding the different ways men and women experience the world. It's about recognizing that what seems obvious to one sex might be completely foreign to the other. It's about learning each other's love languages. It goes both ways, of course. How can women get their needs met? As women, we need to be direct and specific in our requests. A vague desire for more attention isn't nearly as effective as a clear statement of need. I need undivided attention where you're paying attention to me every day. Learning to listen, truly listen, is crucial. That means silencing the internal chatter, resisting the urge to interrupt, and creating space for a man to fully express himself. And yes, sometimes it means waiting patiently for an answer, even if it takes longer than feels comfortable. Stop the urge to mansplain and just hear what the man has to say. The rewards of this patience are immeasurable. So how can men support women and vice versa? The key lies in recognizing the fundamental difference in how men and women experience safety. Men often find a sense of security through accomplishment, productivity, and the respect of their peers. Women, on the other hand, tend to feel safe through connection and the reassurance of their emotional bonds. One of the most common desires I hear from women is that they want a man who will make them his first priority. But what if that's actually the last thing they need? The truth is, men thrive when they have a sense of purpose and direction, a need to feel like they're contributing, making a difference in the world. If a woman becomes his sole focus, it can stifle his growth and ultimately lead to resentment. I've come to recognize that men are like icebergs. The surface may appear calm and stoic, but beneath the surface lies a world of deep emotions and complex thoughts. Women are deep too. Their feelings are just easier to access. The challenge is to create a space where men feel safe enough to reveal their inner selves without fear of judgment or ridicule. The problem with labeling is its reductionist impulse. Labels feel safe, and so it happens. Men are pigs, he's a narcissist. But labeling is an illusion, because these labels are an effort to control other people. What if the problem isn't that we're doomed to bad relationships, but rather that we have false cause? The point isn't to see relationship as a noun, it is a verb. There's no such thing as a relationship. Rather, we can consider ourselves in relation to one another. How am I being right now? How am I listening right now? What am I speaking for right now? This leads to the matter of holding trash versus being vents. In an alliance with her mate, a woman can listen to her man vent. She can listen for what matters to him and get on his team. One of the things that is difficult to understand, though, is that men don't seem as interested in connection. A dictionary emphasizes the practical uses of connection rather than emotional intimacy. So what's going on? The freedom that this leads to is seeing that no one sucks at relationships because they don't exist, and we have a chance to succeed. I once told my 9-year-old that if she just stood near a boy she liked and was happy, everything would be fine. Just existing and being content. This can be tough for some women to understand. They may think this discredits their accomplishments. How can men and women understand each other and connect better? There's a tendency of people who have been given this insight to become zealots, even at the exclusion of the insight provider. It's impossible to fully understand one another, but even more impossible is that labels can summarize others. There is freedom in simply being content. In essence, it's about shifting our perspective, challenging our assumptions, and embracing the beautiful, messy, and often confusing reality of human connection. It's about recognizing that we're all on a journey of discovery, and that the more we learn about ourselves and each other, the richer and more fulfilling our lives will become. Perhaps the most profound realization is that relationships aren't fixed entities, but rather fluid and ever-evolving instances of being related. Each moment presents a new opportunity to connect, to listen, to understand, and to create a deeper sense of intimacy and trust. And in the end, that's what truly matters.